What's up, everybody? Welcome back to County Gains News Network and Media channel. Today we have another gripped media video. This one's called Irish Senator Defends Hate Speech Bill. Violent Attack Starts with Jokes. So this one's going to be insane, guys. Obviously they're trying to push through this hate speech bill that everybody is rejecting in Ireland. And we're just going to read out the description. The description says, Irish Senator Joe O'Reilly defends his government's hate speech bill by arguing that violent attacks on minorities often start with jokes. Now, that definitely cannot be the case. I'm going to explain why. Make sure to stay tuned, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Patreon as well if you want to support me. And yeah, this one's crazy. I've never even heard of this guy my whole life, so let's go. You know, everybody in Ireland is against the hate speech bill. Like, literally every single person. You cannot be for that, guys. Like, you literally go to jail if you say a joke or something. So let's go.
The Holocaust began in the very early 30s with hate speech. It progressed from hate speech to hate crimes, and that progressed ultimately to the Holocaust. The attack...
What? That's an outrageous statement. Like, this guy obviously has no background in history. You know, I'm sure I don't know if you guys have ever read Mein Kampf by Hitler, but he wasn't going around saying, oh, making fun of like Jews and stuff. Like, he wasn't saying that, guys. That's not how it happened, guys. That's crazy to even suggest that. You know, that is a very crazy statement. That's also a slippery slope fallacy. You know, when we talk about things such as slippery slopes, like, you know, let's just take the US for example. Like, if they want to take your handguns, it doesn't mean they're going to take like assault rifles. It doesn't mean they're going to take like your other stuff, like whatever, your grenades and stuff. You know, just using that as an example for all my beautiful Irish people, the slippery slope fallacy is actually a fallacy, guys. It is not true, right?
On the traveller community do not begin with on the night of the attack. They begin through the hate speech in pubs and the warm-up and the remarks around the place that give...
He's saying a very philosophical statement. He's basically trying to say that the incitement to hate doesn't start on the night of the attack or the fight that you go through with the person, which I would argue that's completely false, guys. You know, maybe your hatred for somebody builds up over time, a certain class of people, but at the same time, guys, most attacks are like sporadical. You know, they're not planned out. You know, a lot of those times those attacks are very serious if they're planned. A lot of the times the person knows that person. I would say 95% of the attacks in the world, you know, essays, if you guys know what I'm talking about, essays, various attacks by your family and stuff, these are all known people. Murders, all that stuff is all by known people. You know, this is just basic criminology, guys.
Give a legitimacy to all this. The attacks, the homophobic attacks in parks do not begin on the night. They begin with homophobic remarks. They begin with smutty jokes. They begin with exclusion. But what?
Obviously, we're not for that, guys. I don't want to make anybody ever feel bad, but at the same time, this is just pure speculation. I mean, this is just speculative as you get, guys. You know, this is about as speculative as you actually can be. Like, this guy has no evidence. There's no studies. Like, this is just outrageous to even suggest that this is like a common thing that happens or something like that. That this is like, you know, this is how attacks happen, you know.
What happened in Navan, those children didn't get up some morning and you know, they were conditioned. It's a jokes, it's stuff online, it's stuff from television screens, etc. It's a conditioning that brought them to that dreadful position, a sort of a Lord of the Flies thing, but something that's fed into. And that's
I understand what he's trying to say. He's trying to say a Lord of the Flies type of thing where, okay, you're like almost like bred to hate and bred to stuff and you're conditioned by the media. Well, here's the thing, guys. You know, you could say that for anything, and I think that's a logical fallacy because I was reading recently that the families that sued Alex Jones for the murder of all those kids in what's that place called in America, guys, where the guy went in, Adam Lanza, Sandy Hook, okay, they're actually getting they're actually suing as well the families of Sandy Hook. They're actually suing like video games, South Park. They're actually suing the gun companies, but it's not really the gun culture in America that caused him to shoot all these people or shoot all these kids, or it's not really Alex Jones that caused him to shoot all the kids, or it's not really, you know, Call of Duty, you know, Modern Warfare 3 that caused all these attacks on these kids. These are complete fallacies, guys. You know, there's no really correlation. You know, because somebody plays Call of Duty and then he goes and shoots a bunch of people, that's not a correlated, guys. If you guys have ever watched the movie by Michael Moore, Bowling for Columbine, the kids that did the Columbine shooting and stuff, they went bowling beforehand. Should bowling be banned? You know, there's a real deep psychological issue there, guys, and it's nothing to do with video games and stuff like that. I would say it's more to do with drugs, SSRIs, things like that. But we're going to listen to this one, guys. This is Senator Sharon Kyogan. Says hate speech bill partly designed to squash political dissent. So for those who don't know what that is, political dissent is just basically, talking about the government and arguing points with the government. So yeah, it basically is, guys. I kind of agree with that. One of the reasons why the government doesn't want free speech, especially in Ireland, and they want to bring in this hate speech bill, is not to protect minorities, because at the same time, guys, people can handle themselves. Let me tell you something. Any of my friends that are, a different color, different background, or anything like that, they're tough, guys. They hit the gym. If anyone makes fun of them, it's going to be a fight. So, that's they can protect themselves. This bill is basically aimed at people that want to critique the government, and if you don't align with the government, you get called a conspiracy theorist, out in left field, you're like this nutcase. So it's a bit unfair, very unfair if you ask me. So yeah, let's see what this lady has to say.
Those of us that may have opinions and views that we certainly can't express those as freely as we would have done in the past. Even to be in possession of material without even sharing it. Anybody can get a knock on the door, a warrant from the Gardaí. They can come in, search my home, search everybody that's in my home, take all their devices, take all our computers, take any material that is relevant to them that they see to be relevant to the case.
And this is why people shouldn't even own anything. Your car and stuff, just outsource it to own by somebody else. My laptop is completely destroyed. My camera's broken, half broken. So if anything gets taken off me, guys, that's... I'll just go buy more stuff because it's well overdue to get taken. But at the same time, guys, people don't want to be knocking on the door and taking stuff from you. It's very unconstitutional, guys, with our freedom of speech. But we don't really have that in Ireland, so unfortunately.
Taoiseach Leo Varadkar recently said that some of the submissions through public consultation tend to have a kind of a coordinated aspect to them. In your experience of the concern from the public that you've seen expressed through emails, what is that like? Does it seem like it's coordinated, or does it seem more organic?
It's definitely more organic, and certainly you would, during maybe the mother and babies homes, legislation that came through the Shannon and the Dáil, a lot of those emails would have been copy and paste. This particular legislation that's going through the Shannon at this moment in time, or will come before the Shannon within the next month, definitely all the emails that are coming in at this moment in time are all individualised. I'd say maybe 2 to 3% of them would be copy and paste, but the rest of them are all individualised with names at the bottom. Some have even got addresses and telephone numbers. So the public are very concerned about this, and my advice is to anybody that is concerned, remember the power lies now with the senators, and particularly those senators that are in power, the Fianna Fáil senators, the Fine Gael senators and the Green Party senators. So they are the people that need to be lobbied here. And indeed the Sinn Féin senators, because they voted too for this bill. So
yeah, Sinn Féin actually backpedaled. They actually added more to the hate speech bill. So people, they like to say that they altered it, but they actually didn't, guys. They wanted to add more, fine print to it. So they wanted to add to the hate speech. It's completely insane, guys. Don't listen to any of these tactics that people psyop you into thinking. It's crazy.
If you are annoyed about what's going to happen and the future that you're going to have in relation to free speech in this country, you need to get active. And you need to get active and engage with your local senator in your county and ask them how they're going to vote on this legislation.
Or you could do something like me, guys. Start up a YouTube channel, get hundreds of thousands of views per month, and hopefully thousands of views on these videos. Last video I got put out yesterday got 8,000 views for talking about other things, in the Irish government. So it's great to do that, guys, to try and bring actual light to the issues. Okay, don't just think that, this is gonna blow over. Actually try and, help give people information, guys. People say, some guy said, why are you just copying people's content? Well, it's helping bring people information, guys. Hopefully I can explain things better. A lot of these videos, sometimes they might not break it down as far as you want, all right, for the average person like myself to understand, so I try to help break it down, guys.
And are they going to put down any amendments to it?
What is the likelihood of there being heavy amendments to it?
I think a lot of the amendments will come from the opposition sides. I can't see very many amendments coming from the government side. I could be surprised by that. There are some very good senators there, the likes of Barry Wall, Mary Celia Carney. They may see what we are seeing at this moment in time and decide to put down their own amendments on what we've seen, and the government will likely take their amendments more so than ours. But I welcome amendments from the government parties here on this. I welcome them to get engaged, see how this legislation can be improved. It either has to be improved or it has to be scrapped.
What is your chief
I would say let's scrap it, guys. Okay, everyone should vote for that. If you're watching this video, vote for it to get scrapped, guys.
concern with the bill the way it is worded at the moment?
It's very chilling for those of us that may have opinions and views that we certainly can't express those as freely as we would have done in the past.
And also, there's already, those 8 counts or 9 counts that you're not allowed to speak on in Ireland, which is good, guys. You're not allowed to speak against it. You're not allowed to speak against the traveling community, stuff like that. That's good, guys. You don't want to be insulting people, but at the same time, if you make a joke about someone or whatever, PC joke or anti-PC joke, you're going to go to jail for it? Like, really? Like, come on, guys. We can't be doing this kind of nonsense. This is crazy.
Even to be in possession of material without even sharing it. I can get a knock on the door, or anybody can get a knock on the door, a warrant from the Gardaí. They can come in, search my home, search everybody that's in my home, take all their devices.
And actually lock you up for 12 months, guys. If you have a joke on your phone. It happened in Scotland recently, because everybody thinks that they're joking. In Scotland, 4 people at a comedy show or something got thrown in jail for a year for making jokes, guys. Like, really?
Take all our computers, take any material that is relevant to them, that they see to be relevant to the case.
Wild.
Or an individual then has to prove themselves innocent.
So you're guilty until proven innocent now in Ireland. Savage. Good crack, lads. All right.
These cases don't come before the courts for maybe 2.5 years. We know how taken up the courts are at this moment in time with the number of cases that are there, and it'll be 2.5 years before you'd even hear a case, and that's far too long for anybody to prove their
2 years of trying to prove you're innocent, whether it be through a court case or through just you and the lawyer talking to the judge. The accusation in itself is punishment, guys. A lot of people don't understand how the criminal system works. If you're 2 years in the system trying to work through the system, that's 2 years that basically they're accusing you of something that you didn't do. Alright, so it's like you're guilty until proven innocent. It should be you're innocent until proven guilty. But now in the Western world, if you say something, then you're immediately you're true, guys. People believe everything. Alright, that's why lots of people are moving to Eastern Europe and stuff like that. Let's just say prominent people, because their words don't hold weight. You actually have to have evidence, guys. Evidence-based. We used to have that back in like the 80s and 90s in the US and Ireland, but now it seems like all you need to do is just make up stuff and then people believe you. Great stuff, man. Great society to live in.
Innocence in a matter like this, and then if they're found guilty, then it's like €5,000 fine or a year in prison. So I think this legislation that they're bringing in is certainly just to try and keep those that have dissent on government issues to keep us quiet.
It's 100% true, guys. I love that lady. Much love to Sharon Keoghan, yeah, absolutely fire. She's an amazing speaker as well. We need to vote more people like these into power, guys. We need to vote more of these people into power. Like when this guy over here is talking about how the flipping genocide of whatever, let's say Germany and stuff, the genocide of these people, it was caused by jokes. And this sort of scale of slippery slope scale. I mean, that's a fallacy, guys. That doesn't happen. Just because they make jokes doesn't mean it leads to flipping mass mass suicide, mass killings and stuff. It's absolutely insane, guys. Absolutely insane. Let me know your thoughts. I love you all. Stay free, Ireland. And I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Peace.